Hello. In this video, we're going to go through a report that is part of the teacher evaluation process that Milligan School Data does. It is called the Calibration Summary. You can see what that looks like right here. Before we do get into that, I did want to take a short detour into kind of a frivolous little exercise here that you've probably seen before. The scenario I'm describing here is that there is a jar of jelly beans on the desk, and you are to guess how many jelly beans are in the jar. And you can see that a lot of people guessed things like 145 and 440. The guesses sort of range all over the place. But what tends to happen in these scenarios is that nobody will guess the exact number of jelly beans, which in this case is 325 in this jar. But when you average all of the answers together, you get pretty close to what the real answer is. And that's a phenomenon known as the wisdom of the crowd. And you can see that what tends to happen is that some people guess very high, some people guess very low, but those tend to cancel each other out, and that the average is somewhere close to the truth. And so using that phenomenon of the wisdom of the crowds, that's the idea behind this calibration summary. So what this report describes is how you as an evaluator evaluated the cohort of teachers that report to you. And so just as a review here, this is a fake teacher evaluation where you can see that there are multiple components, and then you as an evaluator get to say that they were proficient, they were basic, unable to observe, distinguished, and things like that. And so presumably you did more than one of these. You probably did 10 to 15 of these in a school year. And what this report shows you is the distribution of scores that you gave. And so this dark blue line right here, these dark blue bars right here, indicate how many times you rated different teachers in different components, each of these scores. And so you can see that in this example here, there were 13 components that were marked as basic, there were 57 that were marked as proficient, and there were 11 that were marked as distinguished, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what those dark blue bars are. Those are how you evaluated your teachers. You will presumably have far more than 86 total responses across all of your teachers, but this is just an example. What the value of this report is that the light blue bars that are behind your bars represent the crowd. They represent how many responses to each of these components everybody who did an evaluation in my system responded in the school year that we're looking at. And so what you can see here is that for this particular evaluator, Mr. Skinner in Springfield School, really sort of matched what the average evaluator gave for proficient. You can see that they were maybe a little bit low. They didn't give quite as many distinguished as the average, and they gave maybe a few more unsatisfactory than the average. And so that is just information that you can use. I call this the calibration summary because what this allows you to do is maybe calibrate your expectations next year. If you find that your evaluation counts are much higher and much lower than what the average is, that might be something you want to just take a look at in your evaluation techniques and in your evaluation expectations, to kind of calibrate and adjust that for next year. I'm going to show you another example, another fake example here that kind of shows something where it's off by a little bit more, so you can see what that looks like. But this teacher, Mr. Burns, in Springfield School, looks like they had a lot fewer proficient. They marked people proficient a lot less than the average, and then they had more unsatisfactory and basic than the average. So again, this is an opportunity for this evaluator to say, perhaps I am evaluating people a little bit harder, and that I can calibrate my expectations for next year. It is important to realize that obviously the wisdom of the crowd is a great guide, but it is not the absolute truth. There is every possibility that you have, if your calibration summary is showing that you are showing distinguished far more often than the average, that could very well be because you have a more experienced group of teachers that you're evaluating, that they truly are having distinguished as the proper evaluation. This is really just information for you to help, again, calibrate your expectations the following year. So that's what this report does. If you have any questions about this report or really any of the reports that we have, please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly at milligansschooldata@gmail.com. Thank you very much.